Can you please, with this same level of enthusiasm, do the rest of this intro?
This is Auto Collabs.
See, what I wish people knew is that when we drop in, when Nathan finally hits the record button, we've been winding each other up for like 10 minutes prior.
A solid 10 minutes just to figure out who's going to get angry
Not
or
even
happy or whatever it may be.
Show,
the 10 minutes usually involves an array of emotion, from anger to hysteria to laughter. I mean, and so by the time we get into these intros, we're all wound up. Today, I'm excited because we have Greg Uland again. He is vying for the most. I think we say this like we're tracking. Nathan's tracking most appearances on ASOTU so far this year. It's a great spot to have. Greg is somebody who's always paying attention to a broad spectrum of what's going on in the industry, and just by nature, I think, of being the CMO for Reynolds, you're probably privy to a couple conversations in a couple different areas of the, you know what I mean?
When you're a company that is as invested in this industry as Ray, there's no doubt that these conversations are much farther reaching than we probably could anticipate. So I hope you enjoy this one with Greg Uland, top contender or the number one.
We're gonna have
most recurring.
We have to check with Nathan on that.
We're gonna have to fact check that, but either way, hope you enjoy this conversation with Greg Uland.
Greg, welcome back to the show. I think you are definitely a front runner for most appearances this year.
Well, I was hoping so. That's what I've been going for. You know, it's only
there's a trophy and everything.
Good. I mean, it's only August, so we got a few solid months left. If we can keep up with cadence, we should be in good shape.
So good, so good. The summer is always one of those times where, depending on who you talk to, you realize like they don't want to talk to you at all, or they're actually doing a lot of work in the background, right? So like in the dealer world, we were just talking about this on the morning show today, that like they're working, they're selling cars, right? Especially last day of the month, but they're like working. Meanwhile, on the industry partner side, this is usually a time when we have a little bit of headroom to plan, to invest in the client base and do things that bring people together. So I don't know how you feel about that. That's how I'm feeling. I mean, you have an event coming up, so
I never feel like I have time to plan. Unfortunately, that's the you run at about 600 miles an hour, but that's the world we live in, which is what makes it fun.
Well, some people on your team have been planning.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we talk about a lot in the ASOTU world is like what happens when you get people together, which always takes planning, right? It takes meals, lodging, getting people to like set time aside in their schedules, and like we're about to spend a little time together in is it technically Virginia or is it Maryland?
It's Virginia.
Going to be. It's Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have had team planning this Amplify event, and where you are bringing people together because you believe in the same thing that happens. So, why did you start that event? This is the second year or third year?
Second year. Yeah. So, well, first of all, you mentioned the team planning. I got to give a shout out specifically to Ashley Wrench. So, I mean, you guys have interacted with her a little bit, but if anybody's coming, first of all, everybody should come. But if you're there, find Ashley and at least meet her, because she is a rock star and she's been making this whole thing happen. And also Colleen Whalen on our team too, I think. So anyhow, a team is such a vague term. Those two ladies are absolute dynamite rock stars, and anything we do doesn't happen without them. So anyhow, with Amplify, very, very excited. August 19 and 20 at Lansdowne Resort in Leesburg, Virginia, which is the DC area. We really do this annually to get people together to share, and it's kind of dual purpose, I suppose. Part of it is best practices, and you guys do a great job with this, obviously, with ASOTUCon and bringing people together and sharing best practices. But it also, has different tracks where we can have Reynolds customers come too, and we can do best practices and workshops so they can walk away with a lot of tangible fingers on the keyboard things. So it's a pretty diverse group that'll come in. It's a big group this year. Really excited about it. But idea sharing and having some things to walk away with, but also tactical fingers on the keyboard stuff too.
What are the...
That's awesome.
Were you going to say something, Kyle?
No, I was saying that's awesome, but I was gonna probably ask the same thing that you were gonna ask, like where are the key topics?
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, because I'm always interested, like what am I gonna take away from any of these events, and just me getting to attend, I always get value out of it. So I'm kind of excited to hear your answer, because I'm like, all right, what notes am I gonna be taking when I show up, right?
Yeah, I think the one that is of probably the most interest to everybody is cybersecurity, right? And how to handle that. And it's interesting because with cybersecurity, and you guys know this as well as anyone, right? Our industry, like every industry, has these cycles where certain things are really important today, and then 30 days from now, we don't have time to keep them top of mind, right? And
you don't say.
Right. It's crazy. You've been doing this a while. So, but with cybersecurity, it's one that none of us, right, but dealers especially, you can't afford to not have it front of mind, or at least have somebody on your team have it front of mind. So this is one where we'll have our the Reynolds Chief Privacy Officer, Will Farley, will have a session. We're actually going to have Frank Abagnale there. If that name doesn't sound familiar to you.
Oh my God, no! I totally know who that is. Catch me if you can.
That's right. That's right. So he'll be there talking about privacy, cybersecurity.
Wait, pause there for a second.
Yeah.
You guys know who that is, right? The movie Catch Me If You
Can.
Can.
It looks like some blank stares.
I feel like
I know the movie, but I don't know the name in particular. Is it who the movie's
that's the guy? On? That's the character.
Yeah,
that's the character.
Leo DiCaprio's character.
Yes, they caught him. Right, the FBI said like you're brilliant, and then he's just basically turned this into a life of like putting the white hat on. Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, so he's great. That'll be a fun one to have there. We're excited about that for sure. Entertaining if nothing else, but he actually does have some really good tangible takeaways. Then we'll have Reynolds Chief Information Security Officer Nikhil Kalani there too for a Q&A. So a lot of focus because there's been a lot of demand, a lot of ask for it. So that'll be a big topic, obviously. I'm really excited about a bunch of new products and features that we're launching at the show. So a lot of it centered around AI and this artificial intelligence world, and new products and new functionality being available there. So that's I'm getting pretty excited to just see the reaction. Right, you work so hard, and our team, like our product team, works so hard to get this stuff out the door, and being able to see it in the real world and getting that reaction and those interactions, I can't wait for that. So I'm excited to share that with everybody. So we'll be all over the place. The thing that's new this year that I'm excited about, half of us on this podcast are going to be judges at the Automotive Amplifiers contest. Michael, you and I are odd men out. Sorry.
I have a face for radio. It is what it is.
I don't think it was a beauty contest. Anyway,
it definitely wasn't a beauty contest. I got made fun of for my gray hair recently.
That was live. That was live, like sass that you were getting
just
on
rigging,
the live stream.
Yeah, so it was just a full ribbing. Yeah, I'm excited about that. We've been talking about that for a little while, and I love any of these like best idea, innovative practices, things that I remember as a dealer, like 20 group best idea was always the thing that someone would bring back because they saw it implemented, they saw it work, and then they saw the path to doing that similarly for themselves. And so I think that's going to be, a really key piece of people's kind of takeaways is like, oh, I can grab that, take that back to the dealership and implement that, and potentially like in a couple of days, really quickly and easily.
Yeah.
What's like circling around my brain? You know what grinds my gears, guys?
Come on.
Like, what do we do? What do we do, guys, to inject into our ecosystem, into our industry, this idea of like, you don't have to wait for a bad thing to happen before it's important.
Doing a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, and actually kind of both of these things, right? Like, cybersecurity, obviously. I don't know if you guys watch the news, but like, just kidding.
Try not to.
But like we always, right? It's not just our industry; it's human nature. I think we wait for bad things to happen. I mean, I imagine you guys are probably going to lean heavy into this and really kind of, take people by the arms and say, hey, like, cybersecurity is something you got to be not just waiting till something bad happens to you. And then the same thing with artificial intelligence, with all the people out there that are talking about how it's going to replace their job. It's like we're still in this grace period where you can do something about it. You don't have to wait till you know what I mean? Like, do you guys plan on what's your thoughts around that? Are you guys planning on kind of wrapping your arms around the attendees that way at this event and kind of helping them understand, like, you don't need to wait for bad stuff to happen before you take it seriously?
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. I was talking with, a friend of your guys, Steve Greenfield, yesterday, and we were chatting, and he was talking about how, he really sees an opportunity for dealers to take costs out of the dealership. He kind of framed this up as this idea of, for so long we focus on, okay, how do I get more revenue? How do I get more profitable? Well, the easiest way to get more profitable is to remove costs, right? And it doesn't have to happen all at once, but taking steps, to your point, Michael, now to be more automated, to have these AI tools that when the time comes where somebody's ready to retire or ready to move on, maybe you don't have to replace them, right? And just it really meshed well with, I swear, every dealer that I talk to, especially the bigger ones that have scale. The first thing that they're focused on is doing more with less. How do I sell more cars with fewer people? And it's really something that is an ongoing battle. I mean, I think, and you guys are probably familiar with this too, but Glenn Mercer talks a lot about how, you go back 30 years and how many cars did the average salesperson sell?
Yeah.
10 a month, right? And last month, how many did the average salesperson sell?
10
a month, right? And you have all this software.
But the talent pool is drying up. It's not just like people retiring. There's a clear gap in the talent pool. We've noticed that as an industry.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. So yeah, how do you make each person more efficient, more productive, and give them tools that actually help them do more versus just help them, instead of writing stuff down on a piece of paper, typing it into a computer, right? There's a big difference between going digital and having things that artificial intelligence can do for you, which is where you're actually going to see those efficiency gains. So yeah, leaning into a lot of that because, and not just, standing on a soapbox, but I mean, I swear every dealer I talk to, that's kind of top of mind.
Is this Reynolds' play to get out of printing 1.8 billion miles of paper a year?
Like the real estate costs in these printing facilities, though. That's great.
That's a good callback from earlier this year, Michael. That's good.
It is. He's
great.
He's good. You know what I forgot to ask?
Guys, I'm just saying.
I'm the callback guy. I did forget to ask this before ASOTUCon last year when Kyle and I visited HQ. And you brought out the scroll.
Yeah.
It felt like the Dead Sea Scroll of a car. This is a car deal. How many feet is that?
39.
30-something?
39.
39 feet. I was going to see if we could ship that in the golden arc that it goes in after you put it away to a ASOTUCon so we could roll it across the entire stage. This is maybe next year's the year.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do it. And,
I feel like we need to carry it in on an arc.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And then you open the lid and then we unroll this car deal.
This is what regulations do to us, right? This is what's been pushed on us as an industry. But for next year, we'll probably have to have the way it's looking. And this isn't really, necessarily funny, but we're gonna have
75 feet.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few more feet to add to that thing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's wild. Yeah. Do you think the cars rule will be a topic of conversation? I mean, we're starting to get into, a session opening back up again, political wars going, and cars rule potentially becoming a little bit of a spotlight here in the fall. Maybe a topic of conversation, even in the halls.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it needs to be. Actually, we'll have Mike Stanton there also. He'll be on stage in the morning. So, obviously this is something that he's very dialed into and has a really passionate interest in making sure that it's done right. If it's done, but so that it'll certainly be a topic that's discussed. I think the struggle is, for kind of open with this where we have these cycles, right? But you hear about something for a year and then it still doesn't happen. So it's like, all right, just let me know when it's actually going to happen. It's really hard.
Right.
It's really hard to get focused on it when it just keeps getting down the road.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, Greg, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you again, and I'm really excited about the event. If people haven't gotten the opportunity to find out about it or make their way to it, you said the room block is closing down, but how do they get more information? Where do they go? And who's invited?
Yeah. rayray.com/amplify has all the information there. You can register there. We do have a few rooms left, probably in the room block, but not much. So make sure if you need to stay, you get those, but definitely get registered and come join us. It'll be a ton of fun. Really looking forward to it. It is a 2-day event. We talked a lot about the important stuff, the content, but also day one.
There's a little bit of golf.
Yeah, a little bit of golf, a lot of fun. Some shenanigans probably, and then
golf and shenanigans. Can that sounds like a great title for a vlog for this event. Can anybody go?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's tailored to dealers, but yeah,
that's what I meant. Like they don't have to be a Ray customer to go.
No. I mean, we're probably right now looking at registrations. We're probably 40% non-current Reynolds customers, which is great.
Oh, awesome!
It's definitely an industry event. It's not a Reynolds event. So we'd love to have everybody.
Awesome. Well, very good. Well, Greg, thanks. Can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. And I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us again on Auto Collabs.
All right. Thank you guys. We'll talk soon.
Okay, so we got fact checked. Greg definitely, as his third appearance, has the most appearances on Auto Collabs. We do have like 120 episodes.
Do you think he's like,
wow,
I gotta up the ante? Like, do you think at this point he's just competing against himself? Like,
no, right, like it's a track star mentality. I don't know. You know what we need to do? We need to get back on his podcast because we got to do a podcast with him in person.
That's right.
And I wonder if anyone's ever been in studio for 2 episodes of that.
Oh, but we have been on that podcast twice.
That's true.
You and me.
That's
Paul.
true.
So
I remember the first
in the studio twice.
No, in studio once.
Yeah. So
hey,
look, we're gonna be in person with him either way in just a couple of weeks. I'm really excited about it.
Me too.
One, I love whenever you get to hang out with a room full of dealers, industry partners. The conversation about just like what happens when you get in a room with other people that are thinking and dreaming about the next thing in auto. It's always good for me. But also, like, these topics are things because they are a technology company and individually focused on serving dealers in a particular way will be extremely focused. And I think that garners a lot of results out of just like the things that are getting taken away.
It's going to be a blast. We hope you enjoyed this episode with Greg Uland. On behalf of Paul J. Daly, Kyle Mountsier, and myself, Michael Cirillo, thanks for joining us on Auto Collabs.
Welcome to Auto Collabs. Why are we recording?
Are we rolling yet?